Well, hello everybody and welcome to Pertex Stadium. It is hot and we are ready to go for round 8 of the NRC. Here this afternoon, the matchup between the Rising and the Greater Sydney Rams. Joining me this afternoon is Gareth Wozick as always. Aren't you hot?
Mate, I'm not hot because this jacket is so cool. I've got air conditioning in it.
For everybody back at home who doesn't quite know, this is called...
Bar TV Brown, and we're here today with Bar TV, the home of grassroots sports across Australia and the world.
Indeed, and a nice steady crowd coming in, Gareth. But I've got to say, the Melbourne Rising, they are undefeated coming into this game. They had the bye last week. Do you think the bye came at the right time?
Yeah, I don't know. They obviously had the momentum. The Rams obviously had a massive win last week, so they're going to look to capitalise on that with the Rising having the week off. 16 days between games, which is a long time in rugby.
And of course for the Rams, a few welcome returns.
Yes, we got a few welcome returns in. Mark Swanepoel is back, and of course Ben Robinson's back as well, straight from Wallabies camp. Should be a pretty good game, Pete.
And it's a must-win game today for the Rams.
Yeah, they have to win today because they've got the bye next week. So today they have to win. They have to win by a few points, I feel, to keep in that top 4 because it is top 4 in the NRC competition.
We mentioned earlier it's a very hot day here in western suburbs of Sydney. We've just looked at the barometer, 31 degrees. How hot is that for rugby?
I'll tell you what, it's not as hot as that shirt you're wearing with your collar up. Proper rugby style there, Pete Jolly. But as you said, the surface here is normally quite slippery at Parramatta at Pertex Stadium, but today I think that's going to just be discounted. It's going to be good running rugby here, Peter Jolly.
Quick tip today?
I think the Rams are going to come with the upset because they need to win, and the Rising, well, they're 9 points clear, I think, on the ladder. It's not going to matter.
No, and the crowd, well, you know, over the last few weeks, we've seen it build each week, and that's good to see.
Yeah, the crowd's building, the home viewers are building, the whole NRC is building. It's actually great for rugby in Australia, this competition, and you'll see some great running rugby, as we mentioned. The new rules really quickening the pace up in this game.
And, of course, get in contact with us here at Bar TV, hashtag Bar TV Sports, and it's a great way to interact with our viewers, Gareth.
A great way to interact with our viewers, and if you are watching at home, don't forget to tweet us and tweet hashtag hat, and you might be winning the hat competition at home.
Yeah, we've got a few hats and a few, well, more importantly, Rams hats to give away.
Yeah, those Rams hats, they're certainly very special, that's for sure.
Okay, well, Gareth, guy next to me, Gareth Wozick, he caught up with the players and the coaches earlier today. This is what they had to say.
With me now, as always, for the Rams is Brian Melrose. Brian, must win today. How are you guys feeling?
Yeah, well, look, it's as you say, it's a must-win game. Quality team Melbourne bring, and I guess it's the biggest challenge. As you say, it's the biggest opportunity, isn't it? So it's all on the line.
Not too many changes this week. You haven't got a couple, though. Can you talk us through them?
We've got a couple of changes. Unfortunately, Vasa Falili's broken a bone in his shoulder, so he's out. So there's a change there. There's one or two others, but we've only limited now to about 23 or 24 fit ones in the squad, so selection is not as tough.
So you're just pretty much picking them all at the moment?
I can literally say we've brought in players from outside today. Dave Harvey will come onto the bench. Dave's a good player, but hasn't trained with the team. So yeah, look, it's a backs against the wall situation, and but at the same time, an exciting opportunity for us.
Yeah, the Rising on top of the table. How do you guys expect to counter? They're obviously attacking prowess.
Oh, look, yeah, it doesn't matter what in these sort of games. You've got to front up defensively, haven't you? We didn't do too bad last week. We'll have to be better again today. It's the biggest, probably strongest and most coordinated side we've played against. So we'll have to be on top of our game defensively.
Yeah, well, at Pertex Stadium, you guys have put on a few points against some teams. Maybe a little upset. What do you think about that?
Well, I guess you'd have to be honest and say it will be an upset, but that's obviously the plan. You know, we'll go and try and play the game on our terms. You know, it may or may not work, but we won't be dying wondering.
And what's the game plan today? Do you take it through the middle or just swing it out wide and run them ragged?
You'll just have to wait and see. There'll be maybe a couple of little surprises, but I know that we play a certain way, and that's not going to change too much. But we've got a couple of little things that we'll try, and we'll see if we get some advantage out of it.
Cage as always, Brian. Thanks very much for your time.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
With me now is the Rams fly half, Ben Volavola. Ben, you're one of our favourite players at Bar TV. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, feeling really good. The boys are pumped up. It's obviously a big game against Melbourne, and this game, hopefully, if we do win it, takes us to the finals.
It's always a carnival atmosphere here at Pertex Stadium. You guys play with a lot of flair, especially yourself. How are you going to play today in these hot, humid conditions?
I think we're going to stick to what we're good at, and that's holding the ball and playing out wide and using our width. And also the crowd down here also gives us a big boost. So hopefully we can surprise them with a few of our skills as well.
Yeah, you got any special moves today that you got under your sleeve for this Melbourne Rising team?
Not really. I think the plan today is just keep the ball and keep the ball away from Melbourne too. So yeah, I think that's the plan.
7 from 7 last week with a goal kicking as well. You practice much and you got your goal kicking boots in your bag today?
Definitely have to practice during the week, especially with a responsibility like that. So yeah, hopefully I have my kicking boots on today.
Yes, and a big game today. If you score a few points, it might see you up the top of that point scoring board. You're coming second at the moment. Are you going to take the goal?
I don't think so. I think we'll stick to what we've been doing the last couple of weeks, and that's taking the 5 points and hopefully converting that into 8.
Yeah, very good. Thanks very much, Ben, for your time. All the best today, mate.
No worries. Thank you.
With me today for Bar TV is the Melbourne Rising captain, Nick Sturziger. How are you, Nick?
Well, thanks, mate. Happy to be out here. It's a pretty hot day, so looking forward to playing.
Yeah, sunny Parramatta. Have you played here before?
No, I haven't. I've played a few of the grounds out here where the Two Blues play at Granville Park, but never the stadium itself. So,
getting into the game, you guys top of the table. How are you going to go into this game? Relaxed, or you're in it to win it?
oh, mate, you're in every game to win it, no doubt about that. But obviously coming off a bye, so we've just got to try and get into our rhythm early.
Yeah, definitely, and you've got the highest try scorer and highest point scorer in the team. You're a big integral part of that, being the halfback. How's your game going to go today?
Yeah, hopefully we just do more of the same, mate. We'll try to be pretty direct up front and then build a platform from there.
Yeah, as a captain, what do you say to the boys coming into this game 5 minutes from when you run out? Do you get into them, or do you just nice and easy lead by example?
I'll keep it pretty calm, mate. Just sort of say, we've got to play by the game plan, and we've come up to Sydney this morning, so no excuses with the travel and that sort of stuff. Just got to get the job done.
Yeah, nice. Did you fly here, or did you get the bus up?
Yeah, we flew up and then bussed out this morning.
Yeah, nice one. Thanks very much for your time, Nick. All the best.
Thank you.
Sean Hedger with me now, the coach of the Melbourne Rising. You're doing pretty well this year, Sean.
Yeah, we're travelling along nicely at the moment. Obviously 6 from 6 with all those bonus points has us in a very strong position, hopefully with an eye to the finals.
Yes, and how do you approach this game? Are you guys going to go full pelt in this heat, or are you going to take it a little bit easy? A lot of changes in the second half?
Yeah, look, they're all things to consider. We'll see how the game goes along. But as far as our approach to this game, because we've had a really big long break, it's been 16 days since our last game, we've got to actually just try to get our momentum back, get back into our rhythm, get back into our simple patterns. That's how we'll start the game.
Yeah, the Rams in red-hot form. Last week they absolutely flogged Brisbane City. How are you going to combat that?
Yeah, look, that was definitely their best game of the season. I'm sure they'll attest to that. We thought that their forwards were particularly very strong. They really smashed the Brisbane forward pack, so our forwards have obviously switched onto that and they're ready for a pretty tough battle up front.
And who's the danger men, do you think, you have to pick out for the Rams side today?
Look, I think their back three is very dangerous. Jerome McKenzie and Benny Batcher at fullback are very experienced. So any sort of unstructured play, we can see them really punishing us if we don't have a good solid line.
And how do you guys plan to win it today? What's your game plan?
Yeah, look, we've based ourselves on good same way sort of patterns, pretty simple stuff. Making our forwards work harder than the opposition forward pack is one of our real keys.
Yeah, very good, and all the best today, and we wish you all the best for the rest of the year.
Thanks very much.
Well, it's fairly hot here at Pertex Stadium. We're not too far away from the 3 o'clock kickoff here in round 8. Thanks for tuning in all season to the National Rugby Championship. And of course, today it is the match of the round. A lot of people are saying there's no question about that between the home side, the Greater Sydney Rams, and the Melbourne Rising, who are undefeated after round 8. Well, in the commentary box, we've already met our man on the ground, Gareth Wozzick. Gareth, it is fairly warm, it is fairly hot. Gee, does it favour one side or the other?
I'll tell you what, I don't know if it favours anyone, but I wringed my shirt out and I filled up all those water bottles, and these guys are going to be drinking a lot of water and getting hydrated. It's that hot today. I think where it comes down to it today, though, the front row is going to be a really dominant contest for both front rowers. The Rising, they've been the benchmark in this competition, but with the Rams, Ben Robertson comes back, and of course Guy Miller and the unknown super fly Fijian Penny Ravai last week at hooker for the Rams. He was unbelievable, Peter.
Indeed. Well, we've got a new inclusion to our commentary side this afternoon here on Bar TV. Everybody knows him in the local area, and it's great to have Luke the Buddha Denellen on the touchline this afternoon for Bar TV. Good afternoon, Luke.
Good afternoon, Pete and Gareth. It's
Mate.
about 30.5 degrees here on the sideline at Pertex Stadium. It's very, very humid and stifling conditions down here. I think today the replacement bench is going to play a big role on both sides because they'd be quite unfamiliar with these humid conditions. But in the end, I think the Rams will get the biscuits today in this one.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Luke. We'll go down to you regularly throughout the first and the second half here at Pertex Stadium. Well, to go into the draw for your very own Rams jersey, SMS Rams to 0458 000 500. That's 0458 000 500 to go into the draw for your very own Rob Horne book. Well, that's a great competition, so encourage everyone to get involved, Gareth.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to read the Rob Horne book. It sounds very Ram-like, doesn't it, Rob Horne?
Let's go through the teams as they come out onto the field, because I believe we're not too far away from kickoff here this afternoon. Let's see how the Greater Sydney Rams line up today.
Today the Rams in the front row, as mentioned, Ben Robertson is back, and Guy Miller. He's played every game this year, and he's a really good anchor man. And at hooker, playing in the number 18 jersey, is Penny Ravai. The two locks, Jed Holloway and Dylan Sigg, who was probably best on ground last week for mine. And the breakaways, Hugh Perrett and Chris Alcott, they'll go absolutely all day. And the number 8 is Big Pat Seo. Number 9, he comes in this week. Back in the side is Mark Swanipole. And 10, Ben Volavola, who's in absolute fire. He's the second leading point scorer in this competition. The wingers, we've got Tom Hill and the little live wire, Jerome McKenzie. He's second on the try-scoring list, is Jerome. The centres, we've got the two Henrys in, Henry Tafu and Henry Siavula, and at the back we've got 15, Ben Batga, the man who is dating in the dark, but he's not playing in the dark today, Peter.
No, it's pretty bright here. We're not too far away from kickoff here at Pertex Stadium. Of course, this is the fourth and final home game for the Greater Sydney Rams. Well, let's go through the Melbourne Rising. Let's look at their team. It's very strong, and obviously their form guide is red hot. This is how they look today. Loose head prop in number 1 is Toby Smith. The hooker is Pat Liafa. The 3 is Paul Aloemil. The 4 is Sam Jeffries. The 5 is Kadron Neville. The 6 is Luke Jones. The 7, the open side flanker, Sean McMahon. The number 8, Lapeti Tamani. The scrum half and the captain, Nick Sturzaker. The fly half in 10 is Jack Debrazanini. The 11 is Joe Kamana. The inside centre this afternoon is Mitch Ingham. The 13 is Tom English. The right wing is Rennie Tolo Tobola. Is it Mola Mal? That could be a tongue twister for the commentary side this afternoon. And of course their fullback, played a bit of Rebels, is Jonah Placid. So, he returns today. Actually, Jonah Placid returns today from a knee injury. He's not the only Melbourne Rising player to come back for the side this afternoon. As we go back down to the touchline, here's Luke.
Well, yes, Gareth and Peter, it's going to be a really tough encounter today for both sides, but I think, as Gareth said, the front row will be a great contest, especially with the likes of Smith and Aloemil and Liafa for the Rising side going up against Robertson, Ravai and Miller. But what I'm looking forward to is the battle of the 10s in Volavola and Debrasini, both on the cusp of promising Super Rugby careers. They'll be both out today to impress.
So, Luke, I guess, we know that the Rising, they're undefeated after the first 6 matches on top of the NRC ladder. They had the bye, as we said last week. Do you think the bye has pretty much come at a good time after winning their first 6 straight?
I definitely think so, Peter, because it is quite a long season for a lot of these players. They have played their respective senior competitions all around Australia, whether it be in Melbourne, Queensland or New South Wales. So I think any sort of break for these players will be of great benefit.
And Gareth, of course, they're in red hot form, the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams, we covered them last week, obviously, and they ran in cricket score last week against a very much fancied Brisbane City. Of course, had Quade Cooper back in the side. I'll tell you what, down on the field there, Buddha, the Rising side were really sweating it up in the warm-up. Do you think that's going to be a detriment? They were absolutely playing like touch football down there. That's crazy.
It is absolutely crazy, and look, they are renowned for their excellent running rugby, especially through the 13, 14 and 15.
Yes, definitely. As the teams are just about to run out now, I'll tell you what, Jerome McKenzie, he's on the cusp of being the leading try scorer in this competition. You know, he's got to score probably a double today to consolidate that. Do you know much about him?
Jerome McKenzie, he's from the Penrith club, the Penrith Emus, which have had a few tough seasons in the past, but he's been an absolute revelation in this NRC competition. I think better things are to come for Jerome McKenzie.
Made an interesting stat throughout the week that I came across. The Melbourne Rising, we know they're undefeated, but they've been able to score 42 tries this season and only 17 tries against. So, you know, they don't let in many points, do they?
Yes, and I guess the Rams' defence, to their credit, they've got that really fast up and in defence, which we like, as we can probably hear the pre-match entertainment at the moment coming through your wireless there. But yeah, I guess what their defence does, you know, it gets them on the front foot, which I think is what's going to keep them in this game, especially midway through this first half.
Most definitely, and something to look out for, gents, with the Melbourne Rising is their number 10, Jack Debrasini. He's been quite fond of a midfield grubber, which is something quite uncommon, I suppose, in rugby in Australia. So he's been doing it quite frequently through this competition, and it resulted in points. So look for Debrasini to go through that midfield grubber.
Okay, well, here come the Melbourne Rising onto the field right now. The horn, the ram horn, just echoing around Pertex Stadium, and the fans absolutely love it.
I tell you what, we've covered a few games here, Pete Jolly. This is the first time I've seen the ram horn, and I'll tell you what, I hope it's a mainstay. I hope it's a fixture here at Pertex Stadium, which of course is the home of rugby in Western Sydney.
Indeed, and of course Pertex Stadium, the home of not just NRC, but the NRL and the A-League. Now stand by, here they come. The Greater Sydney Rams onto their home turf. A small but vocal crowd in here for the clash here this afternoon. We're not too far away.
Yeah, the Rams just keeping them waiting here, playing mind games, Pete. Just keeping them out there on the field a little bit longer than what they're used to. Just get him to suck up starting. Here comes the Ram leading them out. This is what we like to see as Big Hugh Parrott comes out onto the ground.
And here they come. They're just going to swap sides. Looks like the Melbourne Rising will be running right to left on your TV monitor. A hot day here in Sydney, here in Parramatta, out in the west. It's nudging 30, 31 degrees. And for the people that are in here, you don't blame them. They've been able to take shade. There'll be a lot of sunburnt people if you were out there bathing in the glorious Sydney sunshine here this afternoon. Well, here we go. It is round 8 of the Buildcorp NRC, the National Rugby Championship. We've got Luke the Buddha Denellen on the sideline this afternoon for Bar TV. It's going to be an attacking spectacle. Make no question about that. So the Melbourne Rising, Gareth, undefeated.
It's showtime here, Pete Jolly, as the kickoff comes through and taken easily there by Big Holloway, taking it into contact.
So just outside the 22, the ball is on the ground, and good defence there, led of course by Sean McMahon from the Melbourne Risings, as they now approach their own 22 here. Of course, last week the Rams defeated Brisbane City 56-29. They're in red-hot form, just like their opponents today in the Melbourne Rising, and they find the touchline. Gareth on the 10.
Yes, first line out. The Melbourne Rising look like they're going to play a bit of a hurry-up offence today, where they've come and joined that line out quite quick. The referee not happy with the gap there. He's just getting them set for this first line out. It should be a really good contest today, Pete.
The ball comes out, and the ball now is with Surzaka. He gives it across. They're keeping it alive, and this is Joe Kamana. Look out for him. Watch out for him, definitely. On the left winger, he just shreds tackles, just like this bloke, Lapeti Tamana from Tonga. 1 of 7 children is the first penalty. Goes the way to the Melbourne Rising.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to probably go for touch here. I spoke to the coach, obviously, before the game, and they said it's points and they're going to go for the try. How's it look down there, Luke?
It looks fantastic down here, Gareth. It's, as I said, it's absolutely sweltering. So I think it's a big key for both teams to try and keep the ball in hand and really tire out the other side, because it's going to play a huge factor in this game.
Yes, I can see the sweat patches up in my air-conditioned box up here, Luke.
I feel like Dean Jones and Chennai in 82.
Without the curry. As the line out comes in, they're going to look for an attacking maul here, and they drive it forward. They've been good at this and utilising it well at the moment. Ball at the back. Just controlling the play really well. Good defence, though, by the Rams. They showed last week they really dug in. Brisbane City looked to attack a lot of times there, but they held them out as the ball coming forward now in this mauling, attacking opportunity. Pete?
Yeah, well, Sturzaka is trying to look for the football. He wants the football. I don't know if it's going to go to him just yet, as everybody just collapses on one another, one might say, just metres out from the goal line. Sturzaka, speaking of him, he's going to put his foot in there, trying to get the ball back, but it can't come, Gareth.
Yes, and that'll be first scrum to the Rams here, and that's good line defence there against them all. Really held them up well there, looking to really assert their authority in this first scrum, I guess. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, both front rowers, both damaging in these forward packs here. It's going to be interesting to see whether the Rams look to clear. They have looked to play the ball out of their own line over the last couple of weeks.
Just touching, we've got thousands of viewers tuning in from our southern state of Victoria. It's great to have back into the starting lineup Jonah Placid, Sean McMahon and Toby Smith, 3 very good versatile players, aren't they, for the Melbourne Rising?
Yeah, good scrum there by the Rising, really putting the pressure on early on that Ram scrum, and they're struggling to get the ball. These breakdown, the ball trickles over the sideline here, and that's good defensive play there, turning defence into offence here at Pertex Stadium, Pete.
Just checking our weather gauge, 30.5 degrees down there on the touchline. Luke, we may not notice you after the 80 minutes is up, mate.
Oh, I'm absolutely dripping with it, Peter. I need a pool. I need something. I might be going for a little bit of a dip in Parramatta Pool. Richie Beno's favourite, actually.
It's not far away, the pool, just to the right-hand side of the complex here. This is Sturzaka looking, searching for the football. You can't miss him, can you? Now they charge towards the goalpost, just a few metres away. So they're on the attack. They're 2 metres out. Sturzaka offloads to the 4 in Sam Jeffries. He's close to the Australian under-20s. Has he got the ball down?
No, he's held up, Peter, and that's good defence again by the Rams, who just never say die in this on their own line when the other side is attacking. And they're going to be under all sorts of pressure here. This is probably the 3rd scrum now for mine.
Be important here, Gareth, just down here on the sideline. Ben Robertson, the Wallaby, coming back into the Rams side. He'll need a big game there from loosehead prop to really shut down big Paul Allo Emile, who's had ITM experience with the Waikato side. So they'll be expecting a lot from Ben Robertson today in the set piece.
Yeah, definitely a lot to prove as well with that scrum for the Wallabies last week, collapsing a couple of times. That's a good set piece. They're all knocked on at the back there, was it? No, that's a penalty. The referee's called a penalty there.
Yeah, just creeping around there and a bit going into an offside position.
Yes, and they've called for another scrum, yes. And these rules in the NRC, the new rules, I guess you can't creep around the halfback to allow for good distribution. It's a good rule, and I think the rules are really working in this competition, looking for free-flowing rugby, and we've certainly got that throughout this Buildcorp NRC season.
Yeah, definitely right there, Gareth, because the scrum has been somewhat of an issue, not only in Australia, but I suppose worldwide, the scrum, a lot of stoppages and reducing that running rugby, but the rules here in the NRC have proven to be quite valuable.
Yes,
So-
definitely, as the teams come together. Sorry, Peter.
I was just going to mention there, we've had about 5 minutes here, Gareth, and Melbourne Rising have been deep on the attack so far. Let's see if they can turn it into points, and that's what they do.
Easy as you like there.
Debrazzini goes across the line for the first 5-pointer. They lead 5-0.
Yes, off his left foot, and that was easy as they come. He just made them look very pedestrian there in a defensive line that's been pretty good thus far. 5 minutes to go, and it's all Rising so far. The Rams just can't get out of their own half at the moment, Pete.
Let's get into the touchline, Luke. The Buddha, Den Ellens down there. That looks so easy.
Oh, look, Jack Debrazzini, an absolute coach's favourite. You want a 5'8" or a first 5 that runs and takes the ball to the line, and he's done that close to his opponent's try line and turned it into points.
As we go now to the Bar TV replay. Good, tight scrummaging here by the Rising side. Comes off the back from the big number 8. Little floating pass and just catches them off guard. Left foot step and just puts it down. And he'll do that all day, Debrazzini. As they come back now for the kickoff here through Vola Vola.
There's big raps on Jack Debrazzini. Very exciting young player, as we just witnessed there. As we see now, they've got the ball back, the Rams, and they go on the attack. This is Savula. Plays it back now with the Swanepoel to the left-hand side of the field. They charge forward, going well inside the 22. Ravai still going. Somebody will need to put him down, and they finally achieve it. Still on the left-hand side. We know they've got plenty of attacking in them. Holloway will score. He's in. Is that the 4? I think you'll find Jed Holloway has crashed over in the corner.
Jed Holloway in his return match has absolutely taken a couple with him and just showed his strength there and gone over the line, and that's a good, easy comeback. The Rising not looking desperate enough in defence. How did you find that, Buddha?
Well, that was actually sensational work there from the Rams. They gained the ball from the kickoff, fortunately, and a beautiful edge movement going over to the left. You probably don't realise how quick the service is from the back of the rucks and how quick it is. And look, they actually just exhausted to the left there for the Rising, and were lucky enough to turn it into points.
I'll tell you what, the hands by Vola Vola, Swanepoel to Vola Vola, that was unbelievable. And he's just got such soft hands, Vola Vola, as he comes back for the kick here on about 22 metres back and a metre in from touch.
Well, the Rams under heavy pressure in the first few minutes, but they've been able to get good territory and score that try in the corner.
And he's nailed that kick.
Is absolutely on target. So we're locked up here at Pertex Stadium. It's the Rams and the Rising at 8-all.
Yes, that's a good reply there from the Rams, as we mentioned. As we go to the Bar TV replay, good short ball there from Vola Vola. Nice hands. Holloway bumps one off and piggybacks another over the line, and that's a good try there as they restart the ball, the Rising, in a quick restart. The ball about 30 metres from the Rams line here.
So the Rams have been able to hit straight back here.
Ravai with the ball.
Takes it outside the 22 for his side. Who wants the ball now? They're just bashing and barging their way through the middle. This is Alcock. They're going to chip. Well, a bit more than a chip. Goes to the halfway line. Rising is back there. This is Joe Kamana. He goes back inside the Rams territory. As we mentioned, Kamana, he shreds tackles. Look for that this afternoon as they approach the 10, 8-all. As we see now, Sturzaker gives it across to Molomau. He takes the line on, and over the top there is Liafa. Sturzaker trying to make momentum up the middle of the field. 8-all.
Good service by Sturzaker too. He's really hitting the mark here at Pertex Stadium as they come forward now through Jonah Placid. Good run there. He's not too quiet, is he, Jonah?
Returns today, full of energy, as we mentioned, from the knee injury. Inside the 22. Sturzaker exploits a gap and gets the try.
That's really poor defence at the breakdown there by the Rams. Just not aiming up at that pillar and post, and just runs through Sturzaker like no one else was there. No one's watching, just daylight in front of him. I don't know where the fullback was in Batka, but he was nowhere to be seen and places it down just left of the post there. Luke, How they going down there, mate?
Well, I'll pay credit where credit's due, Gareth. Excellent vision there by Nick Sturzaker. A young leader. He's the captain of this rising side, a product of the Knox Grammar School, played Australian schoolboys. He's been providing excellent service there for Debrasini, and he just looked up and saw some lazy defenders and scooted through under the posts.
And of course, Sturzaker, born in England, came across at an early age, around 2 or 3, and has made his way into the Melbourne Rising side. Here's the conversion. It's a beauty.
I tell you what, Pete, he kept the tan, didn't he?
He did.
Sturzaker, he's playing well as we go now to the replay, do we? No, we're coming back for the restart. Don't need to replay that one for you guys because it was a try, plain and simple there. As Vola now with the restart. The Rising are going to want to be switched on here. They let themselves down that last restart as the ball comes through.
So
Kicked off well.
So plenty of points here in the Bill Corp National Rugby Championship after 11 minutes here on Bar TV Sports. And don't forget tomorrow, 2020 cricket returns. There's a penalty to the Rising here, 15 short of halfway.
Yes, and they'll go for touch here. Debrasini, big boot on him, so he probably looked to get it up around that 22-metre line there. And he hoofs it downfield. That's a good clearing kick, and that's going to put this Rising side on the attack. This Rams side look like they're struggling down there. Luke, can you talk us through it?
Yeah, the heat seems to be getting it to the Rams here. The Rebels are playing some very controlled football through the middle of the channels there. And as you can see by Debrasini, he's getting his back line set constantly, and he keeps throwing attack and attack back to the Rams.
As we mentioned last week, the Rising had a bye. They last played round 6, 25th of September. Melbourne defeated the Vikings 34-13 on that occasion. And I understand, Luke, in the second half against the Vikings, it finished an 8-all draw. And now they've faced the bye last week, and now they're facing this hot temperature, but they get a penalty right in front of the post.
Yeah, it's just pulling it down there. The Rams, a little bit unlucky with that penalty, but they'll probably look to go for the line again and try and pile on the points and really send a message to the rest of this competition coming into the semi-finals. Of course, round 9 next week, last round.
You can just sense, can't you, a big scoreline coming up here at Pertex Stadium this afternoon. Pat Liafa, Auckland-born hooker from Box Hill, with the line out.
Yeah, it's just getting them set. The referee there.
The Ram must be hot on the sideline.
I'll tell you
feeling
what,
for him, Mr. Ram.
I want to get my shears and clipper him because he's making me hot up in my air-conditioned box up here as they take the ball from the back of the line. Ooh, and not straight there. The referee's called it. And we don't see many not straight penalties in this NRC competition, of course, because if they're not contesting the ball, it can go either way, you know. It doesn't have to be thrown in straight, which is one of the better rules, again, for the NRC, I think.
Of course, Tamana there was the ball carrier for the Melbourne Rising, of course, from Tonga, one of 7 children.
Yes, and they're going to go for they've got another scrum here, and the Rams scrum's been under all sorts of pressure here, so expect Sia to pick it up from the back and just consolidate the ball here.
Watch for this combination, boys, of Smith, Liafa and Alo Emile here to really attack this Rams scrum, because if they put them in all sorts of pressure here, they're likely going to kick it out and they're going to be having some great field position.
Thoughts there from our sideline eye this afternoon. Luke the Buddha Denellen. Great to have him in the Bar TV commentary box. The scrum.
The two sides getting back together. Referee not happy with that first effort as they come together now. Vola set to kick, and that's a short arm penalty there. Just going in a little bit too quick there, the Rising side. Referee not happy with it. Bit of a let off there for the Rams, though.
I suppose it's a new habit that the front rowers of the NRC have to get used to with the new rule where you can't hit and chase your feet. You have to sort of be solid and then engage once the call's been made, because there is a habit, I suppose, of the regular rugby competitions where you hit and catch your feet, and then when the ball comes in, you can get that extra drive on.
And don't forget to get in contact with the commentary side via Twitter this afternoon, and we'll get through to your engaging tweets as they go on the attack. Looking elusive, aren't they? Hashtag Bar TV Sports or hashtag Ram v Mel as they go forward now through Tamani.
Yes, this Rams side, this Rising side just looks that little bit quicker. They're a bit more desperate to get to the breakdown and clean out. They just look that much sharper than the Rams at the moment, as there's a little break there coming through. And
the ball comes out. What have they got here? The Rising. Big push there from the Rams. They may get it back, the Rams. They do indeed. Good work there now. This is Swanepoel. He beat one. He beat two. Still going. Swanepoel looks for support.
Yes, and it's a calamity of errors there as the Rising have the ball back now. Taken well there by the Rams side. Probably about 30 metres out, but they've turned it over again, the Rams. As they come forward, Swanepoel with it now. He boots it downfield, clearing them, getting them out of trouble there. And the chase is on there. Swanepoel chasing. May get it Placid with the ball and makes sure of it and kicks them out of trouble. And that's good enterprising play there. The ball going back and forward. A little bit scrappy, but Rams getting themselves out of trouble with their own line out on the 22-metre line now, attacking for probably only the second time in this match. They're going to want to make good use of this one, Luke.
Oh, most definitely there, Gareth. Well, bit of scrambling play around there, but well done there by the fullback Placid, kicking it out, relieving, and backing their strong line out. They've got Wallaby representative Jones in their forward pack there, the Rising, but it looks like Ravai, he's busted one. He's still going down that sideline.
Yeah, good run there by Ravai. He's a bit of an unknown quantity, Ravai. As the ball's at the back there, they're taking their time. The Ram side, Vola with it now to CO. CO taking it forward into contact. Just setting it up there, just trying to suck them in.
Push and shove in the background too, as a Ram and a Rising player clashed together with our referee. So nothing wrong with that. So they come away with it now, Rising from well inside their 22, and this is where they're dangerous. Down the touchline they go. Look at them go. They're over the halfway line. Kamana, he takes them on. He throws it back on the inside. It's still on. There's 5 on 4 out wide. The crowd absolutely screaming. Enterprising rugby here at Pertex Stadium. This could be the try of the year if they can put it together. They may even put it on the head and put it in the touch. How enterprising was that passage of play? Top shelf rugby.
I'll tell you what, that was so enterprising. That play needs its own startup fund, Pete Jolly, because that was unbelievable rugby. I was out of my seat there. I thought that was going to be the try of the year, as you mentioned, but the ball going out off the head of Kamana, which was very unlucky because they probably should have scored that one, to be honest.
Well, you know, we spoke about it at the top. He shreds tackles. And what was he doing there? Shredding cheese like you've never seen it. Look at this, as we see now Sturzacker on the replay. And talk us through this. Unbelievable as we come back now to live pitches here at Pertex Stadium. But this is what it's all about. That razzle-dazzle rugby. Let's see if they can offload. They do offload. Outside the 22 they go. They come to the 10. They take them on, and they're going to be pushed into touch. Well, we've seen everything here at Pertex Stadium.
Ben Robinson really should have given it then, though. He had 3 players unmarked on the inside, but decided to back himself and was bundled well over touch there. And this will be a Rising attacking play again as they look quick to set their back line, and that's to the back of the line. It's gone over there as the Rams come through on the ball, and Vola comes up with it. That's a good steal there by Vola.
And all that happened right in front of our sideline eye, Luke the Buddha Denell. And how about that exciting passage of play?
What an exciting passage of play. Brilliant vision shown there by Jack DeBrasini, well into his 22 to bring the ball well into the Rams' half. But look, as a fellow front rower, you can't blame Ben Roberts. He doesn't see open pastures like that too often, so I don't blame him for not giving it.
I tell you what, if I was those backs in that Rams side, I would be filthy at the moment. But anyway, as Ravai comes in now to throw the line out, he's been pretty on song with his throwing. It's only the second game he started for this Rams side. They go for the short man. Ball comes up and knocked off the top. Swanepoel gets it. Little dummy on the inside, putting himself under pressure.
Oh, he's been everywhere, hasn't he? Swanepoel for the Greater Sydney Rams. 1-3, lost 3. Of course, they've had one bye Fourth on the ladder, 16 points on the competition ladder. Good run here by Alcock. Still going. He beat a tackle. He offloads the ball. Tafo, he got it back to Sivola. The race is on. He'll score.
He scored.
What a try. He's under the post. Oh, he backed his ability. Nobody knew he was going to get there. He knew. Try, 5 points.
I tell you what, at the end there, I thought he was running on a treadmill, but he backed himself. He was running sideways. He could have just gone straight and made it easy, except he made it easy for Vola, the kicker, and scored right under the post. That was unbelievable piece of play there by the Rams. And this is a pretty easy kick for Vola.
Oh, it's been an interesting one, Gareth, on the replay. What fantastic athleticism on display here at Pertex Stadium here this afternoon. 16 plays, 13 with a kick to come from right in front through the kicking boots of Ben Vola, of course from the Southern Districts. But gee whiz, the fans are getting a quid for their buck this afternoon.
I tell you what, they're all up in their seats here at Pertex Stadium. The Rams getting them absolutely pumped up from that try. He's dancing on the sideline, going a bit crazy as Vola lines it up.
Hits it, looks good, he converts. So, Melbourne and the Greater Sydney Rams, we have 16 points all as we go back down to the sideline. Here's the Buddha.
Well, we're locked up here now, Peter, but look, outstanding work there by Alcock. Great keeping his feet, and look, busting a tackle then again, getting the ball away to Teafu to put it to Henry Siavula, the Queanbeyan product. Now plays at the West Harbour Club. Very unlucky, actually, not to get higher honours, but a very valued member of this Rams side.
Yes, the restart now. Swanepoel at the back to Vola and big CO taking it forward. Good barnsong run, but he loses the ball there.
As we mentioned, it's very hot, and coming from Melbourne, they're not used to, 30, 31 degrees. Coming off the bye, of course, last week, the Rising. So it's all in front of them, one might say, as the Greater Sydney Rams. They are in red-hot form. Of course, last week they knocked off Brisbane 56-29. So we're going to be in for one hell of a match here in the NRC. It's round 8, and you're with Peter Jolly, Gareth Wozik, and our sideline eye this afternoon, Luke the Buddha Denellen. So we see now the scrum half, Nick Surzaka, putting it in.
Well, crucial scrum penalty there, fellas. I think the
Yes.
Rising will use this. No, they're going to reset.
Yeah, they're pretty dominant in the scrum at the moment. The Rising, I can't see why not. May as well push this Rams side around a little bit more. The Rams side really need to lift here, especially Ben Robinson and Guy Miller, who, as we mentioned, he hasn't missed a game all year for this Rams side. But they're going to have to start digging a little bit deeper. But as a former front rower, you know yourself, it's always the second rowers that aren't pushing, mate.
So they're going to...
Well, they've won it.
Oh, unlucky there. Penalty going to the Rising.
Yes, just striking the ball there before the scrum set, I believe. And they'll probably go for this maul, attacking maul, which served them pretty well in that first 5 minutes of this half here, Pete. As the ball kicked well, 10 metres. Probably not the best kick, probably could have got it a little bit closer. You want to be aiming for that 5 metre mark there to really attack the line. So the Rams, they may be able to hold them out here, Pete.
Bar TV Sports. Hashtag Bar TV Sports to get in contact with the commentary side as the ball goes in. This is Neville. Came down with the ball. Comes out now. Barge through Tamana.
Yes, picking and driving here, Pete. Just sucking on. They've turned it over and Alexander shoots one out. And that's a good clearing kick there. No one at home as Jonah Placid comes across, but that's going to be a penalty to the Rams side. Taken out as they bring the ball back all the way back to the 22-metre line. Placid not happy with it. He's taking his time to kick that ball back. The crowd not happy either. They're calling for a card. As we saw last week, the Rams on the wrong end of the cards. They were down to 13 men at one stage. As it'll be a penalty. The Rams on the wrong side of the penalty count here at Pertex Stadium. The Rising getting all the rub of the green as the ball finds touch
Well, we've
10
all
metres
seen,
from halfway.
I guess, Gareth, plenty of NRC foot rugby union, this year. I guess it's too early to say, is this the best game of the season? But, boy, if this keeps on going,
Yeah, it's certainly
could certainly be that.
certainly end-to-end stuff, and it's exciting. As I mentioned, I was on my feet before multiple times.
So it's a small but vocal crowd here at Pertex Stadium.
Yes, not quite getting that line out right there, Ravi. They tried to put a little move on, didn't work out for them. It's going to be a knock on there, but it's going to be a Rams feed. The Rising just tapping the ball forward there. Bit of a lucky break, though, I feel, for the Rams. Oh, sorry, it's a Rising ball.
So Rising, they do have the ball through their scrum half. Sturzaker. Sucking them in, as we mentioned, throughout the telecast. It's a fairly warm afternoon here in the western suburbs of Sydney, hovering around 30, 31 degrees.
Yeah, good scrum again there by the Rising side as the ball comes out.
If they can throw it, they've got space. That's exactly what they do. They go over the halfway line. Kamana again. Beats one, beats two. Still going, Kamana. Ball comes out. Where will it go now? Sturzaker gives it away. They cross the 10. The 7 is with it. This is McMahon. Sturzaker.
Yeah, good service again by Sturzaker as the ball go through the hands.
Yeah, Toby Smith. Inside the 22. Put down there by Holloway. The 12 is with it. This is Inman. 44 Rebels caps. A lot of saying he could be a potential Wallaby down the track. They take the line on.
Ooh, could be a little bit higher there. No, referee says play on. English with it now.
Good ball. Great ball. Try coming if they can hold on to it. Kamana. He's over in the corner.
Yes, hands will do that any day of the week there, Pete Jolly. And just through the hands, little 3-on-2. And Kamana in the corner. How was that, Luke?
The Rising there showed tremendous patience there, Gareth, as you can see on the action replay very shortly. They had the ball on the right-hand side of the field, brought it back slowly. Debrasini took it to the line. They had numbers. They were patient and got it through the hands to put points in the corner.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's impressing me, Luke, and you can probably hear it down from where you are, is where Sturzak is really controlling that breakdown to the Rising's advantage. How do you find that at the moment?
Oh, most definitely. He's proven to be a class act, this Sturzaker. As we talked about him before, he found that little hole earlier and converted it into points. But look, he's really controlling this ruck area for the Rising.
Okay, Zebra Zini from the touchline. Swings left, so no change here on the Bar TV scoreboard. We've got 11 minutes roughly left as we go to the replay.
Yes, passing it out there to English. English to Placid to Kamani, easy as you like. That's a great piece of running rugby, again, as we said, just using it through the hands. And that's, I mean, it's simple but effective, and that's how we like to see our tries scored here in the NRC.
Most definitely there, Gareth. The Rising have really impressed me today with their cohesiveness and their continuity in their play. Their forwards are doing their job excellently, and the backs know exactly where to go. And as you see by that try, they show great patience and strategy to put points in the corner.
Yeah, good clearing kick there by Debrasini, as well as Batcher with it now. Looking to counter.
And he's got support too. Didn't want to offload it, just ended up taking the tackle, just 10 metres short of the halfway line. In there is the open side flanker, Sean McMahon from the Rising. They continue to spin it towards the commentary side. That was a short pass. They approach the halfway line, don't they? The ball is out now to Alcock.
Yeah, Alcock. He's been working really hard, Alcock, as he does week in, week out, the South African. That's going to be a penalty there to the Rams side, just laying on it there, not rolling away.
Just short of the halfway line here. We've got 9.5 minutes remaining in the first half here. This is the NRC Round 8 live and exclusive today here on Bar TV Sports with Peter Jolly, Gareth Wazick, and our sideline eye, Luke the Buddha Den Ellen.
That's a great kick there now, taking it to about 10 metres out. The Rams with their first real attacking line-out opportunity here, but they're walking to the line-out. You can see this heat really draining them. Talking to Brian Melrose before the game, the coach, he's down to his last 23 players, and that's the whole squad. So, these guys are really a bit of a patchwork team at the moment, but they're doing pretty well to stay in this contest as the ball comes to the back, and that's not straight there. Unlucky. It was contested by the Rising in the three-man line out, the short line out. And that'll be a scrum to the Rising. Really, the Rams probably want to try and dig in for this scrum and send a message coming into half-time that they're not going to be pushed around by this Rising pack who have been absolutely dominant at this set piece. Luke?
Oh, very right, Gareth. They've been very dominant, especially in the scrum. And again, as I said earlier, the replacement bench will be of value to both sides, especially the Rams, where they've got Jed Gillespie, who's been a regular in their side throughout the year, and Big Dave Lolohea.
Yeah, Jed Gillespie, one of the two Jeds in this Ram side, as we mentioned last week, filling their Jed quota for their side as the scrum looks to get packed. And is there any truth to the rumour that the two Jeds' nicknames are Beverly and Hills?
Apparently so.
If it's not, it's going to stick for Bar TV, just like that scrum just stuck then. And the rising above to the challenge there, just moving this Ram scrum backwards. They could have gone from a pushover from their own 10-metre line there, the Rising side.
Sturzaka now out there comes to Zebrazzini, puts boot to the ball, sending the Rams back towards their own goal line inside the 22. They're going to attack now, up over the 10. Of course, this is Badger. Just short of the halfway line, this is Tom Hill. Out it comes this time to Swanepoel, flicks it out the back, goes back to the 10. So an interesting time in the first half here. The equation is not much favouring the Rising, but you'd like to be in this game right now, and this is what they are. Vola, he takes the line on, he's still going, he's inside the 22, spinning, weaving, offloading, Swanepoel, he's got the ball, he's brought down in the tackle. They're about 15 metres out, they might get a penalty. They do, right in front of the post, 15 metres out, they take the quick tap, Holloway down inside the 5.
Yeah, good option there by Holloway. They can spread it right. They might have the numbers there with Ravai looming on the wing there. The big man, he could barge over from there any day of the week.
Taifu, he's over. I think he got it down. He's got it down. He's got it on the line. That's a try. They're back in the match just before half-time.
Yes, that's a good try. A great enterprising tap there. Good opportunity there by Holloway, certainly showing his experience there. And Taifu just rolls over in the end, and that's a good try. Luke, how did you see it down on the sideline, mate?
But look, they didn't really have too much going on, the Rams, at what it seemed. I saw Ravai, he was out in the wing. They looked all on their haunches. They looked out of it, and Vola's made a great break through the centre, and they built, and I think a very tactical move was taking the quick tap rather than going for the scrum. They built on it, they had advantage, and Taifu was good enough to convert it into points.
Yes, the little rolling reach-over try made it look harder than it probably had to. As they come now for the kick, there's about 6 minutes left. Scores locked at 21-all. As we look at the replay, they're just taken from the back there. Swanepoel just clearing players from the breakdown. Ball out, gets down low, and boom. That's a try any day of the week.
And once again,
Vola converts. Now the Rams in front for the first time in this match. 24-21 with about 6 minutes to go to halftime. Anything can happen. The Rams are going to want to hold them out here. But the Rising are going to want to score one more time in this half as the kickoff comes back. And CO makes a meal of that one. Knocked back the referee calls though. Unlucky there for the Rams side.
We don't want to go off too early, but Bar TV have telecasted 2 games, and so far the Rams have been able to come away with 2 wins from those televised matches. Will that continue here today?
Yeah, a little knock on there. Bit scrappy there at the breakdown. No one really committing to it. Someone needs to just jump on the ball in that situation, and the players are on their haunches. I tell you what, I bet they can't wait for half-time. I bet you can't wait for half-time, Luke.
I cannot. Oh, it is absolutely boiling down here. Stifling weather we're having. As you can see, the players are on their haunches. It's still about 29 degrees down here on the surface.
I can see, the trees in the background. The breeze has picked up a little bit, but I'm sure that's not a nor'easter. That's a good, strong westerly blowing there, Luke. So rather than you than me, mate.
So I've just got
Exactly right.
stoppage here, guys. The tight head prop for the Melbourne Rising. Paul O'Neill on the ground, just getting back up there.
Yeah, just sucking in the big ones then, the big fellow.
From Auckland, 128 kilos he weighed in last week.
I think he's put on about 10.
Try 138.
I tell you what, he's fudged the scales there, the big fellow.
Not the smallest man on the deck.
As they come for the scrum, it'll be a Rams feed. I tell you what, Swanepoel's been pretty impressive today. I thought they might have missed Avasa, who's out injured with a shoulder injury. But he certainly, he started most games this year, has Swanepoel. So they're certainly lacking nothing with him as they come now for another scrum, and the Rising putting lots of pressure on, but they've gone too soon there and really didn't need to do that. Just need to hold the scrum, then push.
So penalty goes away in the middle of Pertex Stadium. Just looking over to the official scoreboard here. 3 minutes, 14 seconds remaining here on the Bar TV scoreboard. And the Greater Sydney Rams, how impressive have they been in the first half? 24-21. They upset the Brisbane side last week. Are they about to knock off the Melbourne Rising? Long way to go, but the signs are so good so far.
I tell you what, though, this Rising side already set at the line out, while the Rams just walking back, taking their time. They'll be happy to go in to this break with a 3-point lead, I feel. As Ravai comes in now for the line, he's going to have to concentrate. The last couple have been a little bit shaky as they put on a bit of a move here.
And they get it back, Swanepoel. They attack on the halfway line. This is Alcock.
Gee, he's been good today, Alcock.
Man of the match last week, Alcock against Brisbane City. Holloway on the ground.
Oh, he's had a big look there, CO, dropping the ball. And now they're Rising on the attack now.
They could steal. And Swanepoel got support back on the inside. Oh, cleaned up there.
Could have been a shoulder charge, but no.
He's got a try last week, Savula. And, of course, the fourth centre pairing in 8 games, Henry Taifu and Henry Savula.
Bit of a scuffle going on here in midfield as well. Could have been a bit of a shoulder charge, I felt, from the Rising side, but the referee will play on for the scrum. Knock on there by the Rams. And pretty lucky to get away with that one, Luke.
Yeah, it looks like the heat's finally getting to the players here, Gareth. I look a bit like a suspected shoulder charge there, but he's called the knock on anyway.
Yeah, both teams looking forward to a drink very shortly. 1.5 minutes to go. Probably one of the hottest days the Buildcorp NRC has seen.
Most definitely, Peter. Look, and spare a thought for Rambo the Ram. I'll tell you what, Rams, I don't know if they can acclimatise to this weather down there. The poor Ram might need a good shearing after this one.
Gareth, did you bring your clippers?
I did bring my clippers, but I tell you what, that Ram doesn't want to go anywhere near where my clippers go, Pete Jolly.
Sturzaker. Looks like he's had a good head shear. Tinge of orange. Of course, as we mentioned, came across at a young age from the mother country. Out it comes now on the halfway line. So this is a vital stage for the Rams. Have to hold the Rising out with 30 seconds remaining in the first half here. 24-21 penalty going to the Greater Sydney Rams.
Yes, well, it's all Rams now in this second segment of the first half. Just getting themselves out of trouble again there. That's good defence by the Rams. They're digging deep again, and this is what they've become known for around the greater, the NRC competition, the Buildcorp NRC competition. And that'll be half-time. And what a great first half of rugby, Pete.
Oh, it was absolutely a pleasure to watch. It's an attacking spectacle, that is for sure. Well, that is half-time. I hope you've enjoyed the first 40 minutes here of the NRC live and exclusive this afternoon on Bar TV. And get in contact with us on Twitter, hashtag Bar TV Sports, or alternatively, hashtag Ray V Mill. And to go into the draw, this is a competition we've got going. Your very own Rams jersey, SMS Rams to the telephone number, which is on your screen right now. And that's 0458 000. So there you go. And as a bonus, you'll receive a Q&A with Rob Horn and a Rugby Lessons ebook. So yeah, just rewind the tape and have a look and get in contact. That's the number right there, 0458 000 500. 0458 000 500. So a nice touch to get in contact and win a few great prizes here this afternoon.
Yeah, of course. We've got a couple of caps to give away and these Rams caps as well.
Okay, well, we might take a break, come back and hear from our sponsors. You're listening to Bar TV live from Pertex Stadium.
Business is a team sport, and to have success both in the sporting environment but also in business, you need to have a quality team around you, people that you trust, respect, and most importantly like. And to try and create a business on your own is very difficult because you don't have anyone behind you or to the side of you to actually hold you accountable to try and drive you. So that was one of the major reasons why I was tapping Jeff on the shoulder for several years to say, mate, come out, I need some help, and I think together we can build something really special.
The main driver behind effectively starting my own business was Marshall. So he'd gone out on his own and had been talking to me for a while about, we should do something together.
The background to starting my own business is that for a number of years I'd worked for larger organisations and never really felt as though at the ultimate client level I was able to have significant impact or control of my own destiny, and that really pushed me down the path of establishing my own business.
Being in our own business and in control of our destiny gives us that opportunity to work closely with clients to do what we think is the right thing to do, not something that's dictated by other people to us. So given that we're making the decisions in the business, we can make the decisions which are best for our clients. Obviously we think about the business as well, but if we do the right thing for our clients, the business is going to prosper from that.
The first 12 to 18 months there was challenges because we essentially formed our partnership just before the GFC started. So that was a great learning experience, but I think we've come through it better and stronger as a result.
The vision for the business, we've sort of set out at the start of this year and looked at where we're going. We've had some good results, getting some good recognition from clients and from the industry over the last couple of years. So we're now looking to build on that and keep that momentum up. So we've set the vision to build Sydney's best financial planning business. We are really passionate about delivering the best outcomes for our clients, and we think that what we're doing is good stuff, and if we can deliver those outcomes for more people, then that's only going to be to the betterment of the broader community.
I think my dad helps people with their money.
my take on it is helping people, and that's what I took from Everlesco, my experience here. And prior to that, it was, if I heard financial advice, I just think numbers and I guess a bit of direction and stuff like that. But having spent the time with you guys, I think it's helping people with their choices, and to set people up the best way that they feel like that what they're after and how they go about it can be affected. So it was it was really good to see that side of it, how it's just the crux of it's sitting down with someone. Okay, you want this at the end of the day, this is the most important thing for you. We get there by doing this. Certainly more personal than I expected. Certainly more work going into individually working with a client, opposed to just your broad approach and putting everyone in the same pile. And okay, so say if you earn this much, you've got expenses of this much, then we'll do this. There's much more to it than that. Yeah, what I took out of it, I think, was that personal approach to it, and really finding out what's important to that client and what they're after, and therefore the best way to do it. Yeah.
If you were to think about your role, whether that's as a winger or as a centre, can you see any linkage between basically rugby union and finance?
Yeah, sure. I'll write your article for you.
Yeah. I'm looking for some help for a winger.
Yeah. I suppose I'm a winger these days. So, winger's primary role is to finish off the play and score the tries. So, if I was to equate that to financial planning side of things, it's probably the payoff at the end of the day. It's your ability to go on your holiday, to buy whatever it is that you've been holding out to buy, and putting the plans in place to achieve that. Because as a winger, we're pretty lucky that we do just sometimes fall over the line after a lot of hard work inside. So it's probably the payoff, which isn't bad.
It's great.
Yeah.
Can I use that?
Yeah, of course.
I think I will.
And welcome back to halftime here at Pertex Stadium. It is the Greater Sydney Rams leading the Melbourne Rising by 24 points to 21. And gentlemen, I'll put this to you. Has anyone been in front of the Rising at halftime this season?
To be honest, you're probably asking the wrong person in me, but I don't believe they have. I think they've led into halftime every time. So this could be ominous for
foreign territory.
I can't even get that word out. But I think they're having a bit of an extended break here because of the heat. You can see the Horned Army. Special shout out to them. The Rams' #1 supporters group, the Horned Army. You can follow them on Twitter as well. As the Rising team coming out now, walking out actually, just conserving that energy. Luke, how'd you find that first half, buddy?
An excellent first half. It was a bit of a seesaw. Initially, the Rising were right on task. They were showing a lot of patience and a lot of control around the ruck area, and were converting into points. But towards probably the last 10 minutes, Some great counter-attack was shown by the Rams. And again, I make note of that constant battle between Volovola and Debrasini. Looking forward to seeing how that unfolds in this second half.
And here comes the Ram horn, getting the Rams pumped up to come out in this second half. The young fella out there is blowing it like a young trumpet player, but it's actually a horn you can hear. It's unbelievable.
Well, John Watts, a big supporter from Melbourne, tuning into our coverage. He says, Melbourne Rising, it's time now to go into top gear and show your true colours. And that's exactly what they have to do. They haven't been in this position at half time in this competition. Let's see what they're made of in the next 40.
And there's Rammy Rambo leading them out again to this Ram horn. I tell you what, there's a few flies hanging around him. It's a bit hot down there.
Where do you get one of those from?
One of those
Gareth?
horns.
One of those horns.
I tell you what, it's the rich man's vuvuzela, isn't it?
Indeed. I don't think I'll be seeing one of those just yet.
I tell you what, I would like to make that a staple at every single game. The Ram horn.
I think you'd probably hear it on the top of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Nice touch to the NRC. Definitely a keeper.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, here we go. This is the second half. The Greater Sydney Rams. Can they keep it going? Can the Rising?
Yeah, only 3 points in it, Pete, as it's almost showtime, and it is kickoff here. And it's a good straight kick there by Volovola. He's done a couple of trick shots in his restarts, but it's a good take there by the Rising as they come towards halfway, and they look intent this half.
Not to mention they had the bye last week, so no excuses for them. They've customised to the hot conditions in the first 40. We know they've already got the semi-final. But let's see if they can take this good momentum into the final series starting in a few weeks' time as they throw it around and they come to the edge.
Oh, trouble here if he can't get over it. And yes, he's held on to the ball there. He was isolated in attack. And the Rams come up with it. It's a quick tap there by Ravi as he goes forward here. He bumps a couple off and steps through, showing great nimble feet as Swanepoel goes the blind side, but that's a poor pass there, and that's going to be a knock-on. A bit of an anti-climax, and this is a rapid start to this second half, Luke.
Oh, most definitely. Great run there by Ravi. Great vision to take the quick tap and back himself. He's quite a renowned ball runner, as we've seen over the last 2 weeks. But look, again, it's at a very blistering pace in this second half.
And Luke, the temperature's still hovering around the high 20s, early 30s.
It's not getting any easier, Peter, let me tell you. I feel like Roger Rashid at Melbourne Park in January, stuck in the stands in 40-degree heat.
And not coaching anyone to a final win either.
And just getting confirmation from our good friend Brett McKay. He says, boys, that is the first time the Melbourne Rising have trailed at halftime for the competition. So that has been confirmed.
Yes, confirmation by the best pundit in this NRC competition, Brett McKay. Follow him at the Raw Sports. He does a great weekly wrap there each Monday, as it's a penalty here for the Rising side.
This will be an excellent test, gents, for the Rising. Again, as we said, first time they've been behind at half-time. It'll show a lot of character of their side and really show what they're made of and if they're actually genuine contenders for this Buildcorp National Rugby Championship title.
Here we go, the Rams can't get to the ball. The Rising do. Great ball back on the inside to Smith.
Yeah,
he just couldn't hold on to it.
The no-look ball had every right to take that one, but dropped it cold. He saw nothing but the try line and got a little bit happy there and dropped the ball cold. It's going to be a Ram scrum. And Luke, what do you think Brian Melville has said to this Ram side, especially the forwards? They've been pushed around a little bit in the scrum. Do you think they're going to come out and try and peg it back in this scrum competition?
Oh, most definitely. And you can see that with the change of Ben Robertson. With Jed Gillespie, a fresh Jed Gillespie coming onto the field now is very dangerous for the Rams. As well as being a big man and very strong in the set piece, has got brilliant skills. So I think that's a great tactical move there by Coach Melrose.
Yes, already the scrum looked a little bit more solid as CO took it from the back and Volovola cleared it to about 30 metres out. Not his best kick.
No, not the best kick, but Twitter is lighting up and there's a bit of a challenge going on between Brett McKay and the Melbourne Rising. The Melbourne Rising have just tweeted Apparently we trailed at halftime in round 1 and went on to win that game against the Rays, looking for a repeat here. So the challenge is out to Brett to look at the statistic board. Here's a penalty coming up to the Melbourne Rising, 24 metres out from the Rams line.
Yes, and it's probably a good spot to find the line here and attack again in a more situation, having a bit of a chat there. The referee to the captain in Perrott, and that's a good kick there. Exactly where he wanted it.
And that's where he found it, just about 7 metres away from the Greater Sydney Rams line. If you just tune into the coverage, the Rams defeated Brisbane City last week in round 7, 56-29. They had the bye, the Rising. Oh, just couldn't quite get over, could they there?
No, I think it was either a forward pass there or he's put his foot out of line, but definitely a forward pass if he hasn't put his foot out of line. But a little short set-piece move there, catching the Rams unaware. They're going to have to watch out for that one.
It's an oldie bit of goodie going to the front there. So you don't see it too much, probably in Super Rugby, but when executed properly, it's very effective.
Thoughts there from Luke the Buddha. Jen Allen, our sideline eye here on Bar TV this afternoon. Fourth and final match here for the Greater Sydney Rams, and a lot of people are mentioning it's a must-win match for the Rams. Leading so far, 5 minutes into the second half, as you can see on the Bar TV scoreboard, by 3 points. It's a hot day, we've mentioned that. And it's just going to get steamier and steamier as the afternoon progresses here. The Bureau is expecting, as we see now, Swanepoel puts the ball in, and they go.
CO picks it up.
Yeah. They need a. Oh, that looked flat.
Forward in goal.
And it was flat, too flat. It was forward in goal, as you mentioned there, Gareth.
It's going to be a 5-metre scrum, is it? I would have thought. Yes, it is a 5-metre scrum, and the pressure all over the Rams now. They didn't need that. Vola probably should have just cleared it there just to kick them out of trouble. And this is where the Rising are so dominant, 5 metres out. Going to look to probably apply a heap of pressure on this scrum here.
Okay.
Just going a little bit early. Referee not happy with it. Both sides there making the mark again. Asserting his authority early in this second half today. I tell you what, though, he's kept the game free-flowing, and it's been exciting all day here at Pertec Stadium.
Hashtag Bar TV Sports. If you would like a mention throughout our interactive coverage here this afternoon. We know that John Watts from Melbourne has been able to do that. Here's a penalty to the Rising.
Yes, it wouldn't surprise me if they go for another scrum here. Just putting the pressure on this Rams side. Luke, what are your thoughts on that one?
Well, he's a big, strong fella, this Paul Alo Emile, former Australian schoolboy. And I want to, again, really signify the significance of playing in third tier. He spent a bit of time in the ITM Cup with Waikato. And I'll tell you what, playing in that third tier competition in New Zealand really does benefit players, and especially for a valuable position like the tight head prop, where it is the anchor of your scrum.
So for the Melbourne Rising, a great chance now to regain the lead here.
Yes, the scrum going down there on Jed Gillespie's side.
Bit of Twitter feedback coming in from our big number 10 from the Melbourne Rising, Zebrazini. Oliver James Grundy asked the question to Gareth, wonder how many Weet Bix this man eats for breakfast. It must be 10 at least, the distance he gets on the kicks.
Well, big Jack Debrasini, he's about 196 centimetres and 99.5 kilos. He's a big man. He was actually chased by the Essendon Football Club in Aussie rules because of his booming kick. So we could have actually had the next James Hird rather than potentially the next number 10 for the Wallabies.
James Hird, the ex-Essendon coach, or is he there? I don't know. I can't keep up with it. Maybe the next Plugger Lockett.
Even Plugger, a full forward. Maybe even a Cockatoo Collins. I don't even know.
Gary Ablett Jr. As this is a good scrum here for the Rising. Ball comes from the back.
Good ball from Zurzaka to Inman. He'll score. He'll get it down. That's a try. They're back. The Rising. They've been able to score first points of the second half. We've got a ball game now here at Pertex Stadium.
Yes, plenty of pressure there by the Rising, and Rams trying to soak it up, but in the end, it just took one little pass wide of the scrum, and they were over there. And that was just purely down to the build-up of pressure there in that scrum. Luke, your thoughts on that?
As I said, great scrum, pressure from the Melbourne Rising, and look, a great face ball from Jack Debrasini to Super Rugby stalwart Mitch Inman. He crashed over, doing a great job there at number 12, always solid in defence and ever reliable.
The kicks are beauty, so they convert the try, so they turn 5 into 8. So the scoreboard now on the Bar TV scoreboard, it's reading 29-24, 9 minutes gone, second half.
Yes, as they come back now for the restart through Vola Vola. As you mentioned, there's 5 points in it. Nearly 10 minutes gone in this second half here. Speaking of Weet-Bix, I'm pretty sure he probably has 1 Weet-Bix for every 10 centimetres. That would make about 19 Weet-Bix. As they counter-attack there, puts the ball on the boot. Kamani, ball stays in.
And Badger
touches
it down, yeah. Well, they chanced their luck, the Rising, and it nearly came off for them, but the Rams did well to touch it down in goal.
Yeah, just didn't really have the chase on that kick. Probably a little bit too deep than what he was aiming for there, Kamani. But I tell you what, he's very dangerous on that left wing, isn't he? He's looked absolutely scorching every time he's had the ball, and that's a good deep kick, what the Rams really needed there. Turning Kamani around, the man we were speaking about, as he comes back now to counter, takes the ball into a strong Rams defence there.
Comes out, they're going to throw it around, chance their luck. They approach the 10 line. Ball will go into touch, it looks like.
Yeah, good counter here.
Yeah.
Vola with it.
Winds himself up and puts boot to the ball. It goes over the top of Debrasini.
Yeah, good bounces. He's knocked it on.
Oh, he's had a brain explosion. Maybe it's the sweatness on the hands. It's so hot. Gee, you don't see that, do you, much this season from the number 10?
Yeah, no, a bit too casual there, and maybe lost the ball in the sun, which was facing him, but really made an absolute mess of that. And the Rams now with a chance to go ahead again in this match, attacking from about 10 metres out with this scrum.
This is it on the replay. Maybe too casual in his approach.
Yes, too casual, and he's not happy with that. Using his best knowledge of the French language, kicking the ball out into touch.
Well, this is their time. Swanepoel looks up to see where will it go. Comes in. Got it back to the right-hand side. They mount an attack. Oh, good scrambling defense there from the Rising. Swanepoel's got it. Short ball. Dylan Sig in 5. Swanepoel again. Short. Alcock takes them on. Bashing and barging his way close, isn't he? Comes out again. This is the 18. He's close. He'll score. Did he get it down?
No, he's held up there. Held
up. Gee whiz.
Good line defence there by the Rising, and good breakdown play there. Picking and driving from the Rams. Nearly getting the 5 points.
Let's go sideline, Luke. The Buddha Denellen's down there. So close yet so far, Luke.
That's exactly right, Peter. The Rams are almost doing a Rising on the Rising. They're really keeping the ball in tight with those pick and drives and really tiring out the Rising's big men. And look, Ben Vola, he's looking very dangerous with that X-ball. A bit of a pet favourite there for Henry Teifu.
Yes, the X-ball for those pundits at home that don't know that was the inside ball that he threw, making metres up the midfield there.
So Swanepoel.
And this is a better scrum here from the Rams as CO takes it from the back.
Couldn't get it first time.
We'll look to pick and drive, maybe.
Spreads his legs across the ball. Charging towards the line, aren't they? 29-24 in favour of the Rising so far. Swanepoel just giving a few instructions
Gillespie, he offloads it. Alcock is close. Inching, they're close to the line. Which way? Left and right. They've got options. Swanepoel goes right, as you can see.
Yes.
4 metres away from the line. Here come the Rams. Swanepoel. He gets it away to the big number 18 in Ravai. Can he offload? His pants are nearly down around his ankles. 2 metres away. Swanepoel. Burrows from dummy half.
Oh, picked up and driven there. Probably too high to score there. And this is advantage played by the referees. They keep going. They'll look to pick and drive here through their big man in and nearly makes it through over the line there. Still playing advantage. They've got numbers on the blind side, but no, that's a try.
Well, they back their strength and ability, and Daniel Seg, he scored a try last week against Brisbane City, and he's got a very important one here against the undefeated side, the Melbourne Rising.
I tell you what, Siggy is absolutely smoking these days, isn't he? As he scores just wide of the post. Great breakdown, great rucking and mauling here by the Rams. And that's good breakdown play and good ruck control there. Luke?
Yeah, most definitely, Gareth. In these humid conditions are really getting to the place, especially the Rising, because of that sustained, controlled pressure that the Rams were showing in and around the ruck.
Here's the kick. Ben Vola taking his time. 29 apiece. The NRC here at Pertex Stadium. 31 degrees. Here's the kick. He gets it. They've gone to the front. Well, the Rising, pardon the pun, that's what they've got to do if they're going to be remaining undefeated after round 8 here of the competition.
Yes, as they come back now for the kick. As
Here it is on the replay.
We look at the replay here as they take it in through Alcock. Just controlling it at the back and easy as you like, Sig. The players were coming around and they followed the players and just didn't watch as we come now with Swanepoel at the back. Oh, and that's a flat ball and putting them under pressure again. Really didn't need that, the Rams. They just need to clear the ball when they're in their own half of the field because they play their best rugby up in the opposition half. Luke?
It looks like the fatigue's setting in here, Gareth. A bit of a lacklustre pass thrown there by Badger to Siavula. This could actually be detrimental to the Rams side as we've got a bit of a stoppage here. But they need to be on song in defence if they want to keep the lead in this fixture.
Yes, and both teams making use of the water coming out onto the field here for the Buildcorp NRC. We're watching the Rams versus the Rising. Of course, the Rising on top of the table at the moment, but behind on the scoreboard right now, it's 32-29, and this is an unbelievable match of rugby here. It's to and fro. It's what everyone wants in a game of a rugby, and I tell you what, I'm absolutely loving it, Luke.
I'm glad you are, Gareth, because I'm absolutely saturated down here on ground level. I feel like I've been at a 2-day festival.
Maybe you could duck your head into the showers there. Just wet your head a little bit or call for some water yourself, mate. But I tell you what, I'm not bringing it down.
We might have to call for a bucket to wring those clothes out, Luke.
I think so, even a few sunny boys.
Well, here we go. Penalty to the home side on the 22.
Big let off there for the Rams. It's all going their way in this second half here with about 16 minutes gone. As Vola will look for touch. Just taking his time. I don't think he can soak up 25 minutes of time though. And that's a good clearing kick, getting them up to the halfway line or just in front of the halfway line. That's what they wanted. But the Rising, they still look that little bit quicker than the Rams side here.
Well, I guess we've been waiting for the big guys to slow up in the heat, but so far it's not happening yet. Just yet. May come shortly, but just yet it's been 100 miles an hour this match.
But I can see big Steve Murphy warming up on the sideline. He'll be looking to fill in either second row or the blindside flanker role, which I think will be extremely valuable to this Rams side.
Oh, he's taken it there. Gillespie with good hands, but the Rising have stolen the ball now on the attack.
Sturzaka away comes to the edge of the field. Inman, he takes them on. Drop down 10 metres inside the Rams half. 32 plays 29 in favour of the home side. Lost the ball.
Yes, put himself under pressure there by calling for the ball, because it wouldn't have been the passer that threw the ball no look, and you always blame the catcher as the ball punted down the field, but they're going to look to counter here, the Rising. This could be trouble.
This is Placid. Takes them on. Good show and go. Offloads the football. This is where they're dangerous. Outside the 10. Here's the kick. Ingman's chasing. Can he get it back? Ingman's coming through. Can't get there.
Yes, Jerome McKenzie. Don't think he was ever going to beat him in a foot race, but putting all sorts of pressure. They're just playing around with it now, the Rams.
Swanepoel, 2 minds. Not quite sure.
Yeah, just
what's happening there. This is Vola.
Just calling the players back on side there behind the kicker to make sure no one's offside for this restart.
Rams are holding their own. It's the Melbourne Rising so far. As we see now, the kick went about 30 metres on the fly. This is where they are elusive up the middle of the field. Where's the support? No support came, losing it on the 10.
That's poor ball security again by the Rising. They're just probably trying to do too much with it, just pushing that last pass and really putting themselves under a lot of pressure, and it's all uphill here for the Rising.
Yeah, I definitely think so, Gareth. Here on ground level, big let-off for the Rams, or big let-off for the Rising, rather, because their outside backs, especially with these fatigued Greater Sydney players, they can really create some opportunity out wide.
And don't forget, you can go into the draw to win your very own Rams jersey. 0458 000 500.
Yes, and we've got a change coming here. Luke, if you can fill us in.
So it looks like Captain Hugh Perrett's going off. He seems to be... No, he seems okay, just heavily fatigued, if you will. And big Steve Murphy, the former Leicester Tiger, fills in at blindside flanker.
Yeah, he got through a mountain of work in that first half, Perrett. And Swanepoel does that little switch play again. Poor pass, poor execution, but big Henry coming through there.
So a great competition to get involved in. The numbers are up on your screen now as the Rising are down the sideline. They'll kick, they'll chase. Will they get it back? The ball's towards the end goal area. They'll pick it up. No, they've dropped it. They have dropped it over the line. Oh, that could have been the try. That could have been the try, but it wasn't the try.
Yes, Debrezini won the foot race, tried to bounce it up into his own hands, but just didn't quite make it. That was absolutely electrifying stuff here at Pertex Stadium. And now it's going to be a Rams scrum 5 metres out, but I'm expecting this Rising side to pressure them all over this set piece here, Luke. And that was great counter-attacking rugby there.
Tremendous counter-attack, and the Rams need to be wary because they can turn a game at the blink of an eye, these outside backs for the Melbourne Rising. They really need to sustain the pressure in this next scrum.
Well, up until then, fair to say that the Rising have been looking unusually scrappy, but you never know what can come from the next play, especially in this competition.
Well, CO down the blind side, picking the ball up, taking them forward about 7 metres out. Oh, and this is Ravai. He's been good today, Ravai, hasn't he?
He's been one of the best. Ball's on the ground. Swanepoel. They're going to kick. Vola puts boot to the ball and finds the line. Still inside his own half.
Yeah, it's not a bad clearing kick though there by Vola. The Ram side sucking in the air. Big Jed Gillespie leading the pack to the line out. He is, of course, the fresh legs on the field. Looks like there might be a couple more changes coming on, Luke.
So coming onto the field, it looks like, is number 22, Apo Latunapulu. He's from the Newington College there in Stanmore and will combine well with Ben Vola with their Southern Districts connection. It's looking like he'll fill in at inside centre.
Placid kicking, and it goes over the touchline, just shy of the 22.
Yeah, just trickling it downfield there.
So hashtag Bar TV Sports, let us know your thoughts on this match, and we endeavour to read out your tweets in the final 17 minutes of the coverage. It's a close one, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly is. That change being made now. Luke, you are right on the money there, and I don't know too much about this kid from Newington. He looks sharp, though.
They played together for a number of years. They both went to the Endeavour Sports College together in the Sutherland Shire, and both went to the Newington College in Stanmore. Both got scholarships and have a great yet deadly partnership in that 10 and 12 combination.
So Toby Smith is off for the Rising as well. This was in our Swanepoel. May. Oh, I thought for a moment, yeah.
Hands in the ruck there by the Rising.
Here's a penalty. He takes the quick tap and he's away over the halfway line. He got the ball out the back. Hill, he's down inside the Rising territory. Oh, the ball comes back to the Rising, and now they swing it up the middle of the park, and they are away. Support on the right-hand side. He may not need support. Now he does. Offloads it. There's the jump. There's the try. Have you seen anything quite like that in the NRC? I think you'll find Ben Meehan has scored one of the beautiful tries the competition has seen.
Yes, he just busted them up the middle there. The number 18, and that was barnstorming at its best. I'm lost for words here.
Oh, the replay will bring you more than lost than words. This is an absolute beautiful try. Where do you start the replay on this, Gareth Wozniak?
Where do I start it?
Where are you going to press the play button?
I can't find the play button, Peter.
It's smothered in sweat. Let's just see what happens with the kick. Then we might wash down the keyboard, find the play button, and watch this unbelievable Rising try. Here's the kick. It's a beauty. Let's hit that play button and have a look at this try. Here it is. Talk us through it.
Yeah, just grabbing the ball. Just a little left foot step there. Big cruise. Just passing on the inside. Mackenzie did well to come across, but just offloading to fresh legs. And now the Rising in front again, this seesawing match. How did you see that build up there, Buddha?
Well, as I said, they're tiring the Rams out wide, and they've got those dangerous backs. And look, Big Cruiser former Australian schoolboy. He's actually a front rower, and he busted through and got the ball away to Ben Meehan to convert that into points.
Yeah, Ben Meehan picks up his first Bill Corp NRC try, so congratulations to him. Wasn't the easiest of tries, had a bit of a scoot. Well, talk about Olympics. He's a hurdle runner. Unbelievable to jump that high to get over the defence underneath him to score that try underneath the black dot. As we now come back to the halfway. 5-point ball game here on Bar TV. McMahon.
Yeah, just holding on in the line out there. That's going to be a penalty, and the Rams are going to look to attack again here. Knocking the ball downfield is Ben Vola.
One of the amazing tries we've seen. Let's harp on about it. That will be on his show reel, not just his show reel, but the Bill Corp NRC National Rugby Championship show reel for many a year to come.
Yeah,
breathtaking
just a slight
play.
little left foot step and cruising through the defensive line, so to speak. As the ball coming in now through Ravai, who's done well to stay on the field this long with 25 gone in the second half. Good flat line-out ball there, and they're going to look to maul it here. But the Rising defending well, coming through there. The ball's at the back. Well, that's good defence there by the Rising. Ball's got to come out. And that is good defence by the Rising. That's a turnover.
15 minutes remaining. We're in for a beauty. Don't go anywhere. Bar TV, live and exclusive coverage of the NRC from Pertex Stadium. You're with Gareth Wozniak, Peter Jolly, and our sideline eye, Luke the Buddha, Dan Ellen. Breathtaking rugby. This is what the competition is all about. This is what's going to put bums on seats in years to come.
and no doubt in the finals series of 2014. No question about that. Can they keep their lead? 5 points, 15 minutes to go. Blistering heat from the skies above. Here's a penalty. He takes the quick tap and he's away. He's up over the 10. He'll chip and chase. Can he get it back? No, he can't. Cut off there by Badger. He spins it to the right-hand side of the field. This is Hill. He offloads the ball. A little chip in between. Can he get it back? No, Rising do. Now they counter, but this is unbelievable sort of rugby. And now they're down and out, just shy of the halfway line.
Yes.
Still on. Spinning it. Weaving off the right foot into the line. Up to halfway they come. It comes out now, the left-hand side. This is where they've got numbers. The ball's on the ground, picked up there. And the Rams, hold on, Gareth is given a...
Yes, he was playing advantage there, not clearing the ruck. The Rams side.
How good is this Ben Meehan?
He is unbelievable. He's just added an extra spark to this Rising side since he's been on the field, hasn't he?
Very quick, very agile. Little burst of speed down here on the right flank for the Rising.
As far as halfbacks go, though, the Rising have the pick of this NRC, don't they? With Burgess not even playing today.
Exactly right. Having the choice of either Sturzaker or Meehan, they're a bit spoiled for choice. But look, I'd like to make mention as well, he's had a great reset play here on the far left. Other halfbacks could have got a bit startled, maybe gone for the low percentage play, but he calmed the play down and they built some more pressure and resulted in a penalty for their side.
Oh, didn't look too straight, that one. But coming through the line there to about the 20 metres, the Rising as they pick and drive, and that's easy metres there for the Rising.
Danger time here for the Rams. No question about that. 5-point ball game. Back it comes down to Alamil. He's 4 metres away from the line. Where will it go this time? A little bit of confusion, but it's still on for the Rising. Meehan, out it comes. They've lost it. Did it go? Yeah, he's called it up here.
Yeah, that's a good call there. Juggled it forward, knocking on. It's going to be a Rams scrum, but I tell you what, the Rams are absolutely out on their feet now. Probably time to make a couple more changes.
Well, they better not want to be out on their feet. There's plenty of time to go in this match. Undefeated coming into this competition match. But you just sense the Greater Sydney Rams. There's a problem.
Yeah, Rabbi down.
Rabbi's down.
What's wrong with him there, Luke? Can you see?
It looks to be some sort of knee problem. He's had that heavily strapped prior to the game, and he seemed to be hampering a little bit in the first half, also hanging out in the wing. And I don't know if it's caught up with the heat and fatigue, but I think he might have succumbed to that knee injury.
Well, the heavy strapping, as you can see. Not just one or two rolls. Looks like he's got the entire tape.
I'll tell you what, with legs like that, he probably owns shares in Elastoplast. And to go into the draw for your very own Rams jersey, SMS Rams to 0458 000 500. What a prize. Look at these jerseys this Rams side have. They're one of my favourite. As a bonus, you're going to receive a Q&A with Rob Horn and a rugby lessons ebook. And I tell you what, we're getting a rugby lesson here today, aren't we, Pete? This is great running rugby for the Buildcorp NRC.
It's the perfect advertisement, isn't it? And it's great to have the partnership between Bar TV and the NRC, and more importantly, the Greater Sydney Rams, who have got on board the bandwagon here at Bar TV. You know, there's not a great lot of support apart from one rugby match on a Thursday night, and Bar TV have no doubt filled that gap. We've had Friday night football, Sunday, and now Saturday afternoon union, so don't go anywhere. Absolute privilege to bring the best athletes in this NRC competition to you, and that's why. Look at this blistering pace down to the 10. Here's the whistle,
going to be a penalty. And there's a bit of smoke coming across the ground here, maybe a bushfire in the western suburbs of Sydney. Can you see it down there, Luke?
I'm caught in the midst of it here, Gareth. It's now making breathing a little bit more difficult, and I'm sure it's going to make it a hell of a lot more difficult for the players out in the middle of the pitch.
Oh, well, I'd rather you, not me, down there. Luke, my asthma probably couldn't handle that at all.
And a big thanks. As we mentioned here, we can't thank the Rams administration enough. The live streaming, it is the future, no doubt about that. Live, exclusive, and in HD, Bar TV Sports. And what a match we've got unfolding here with 11 minutes remaining on the Bar TV scoreboard. The undefeated Melbourne, can they continue that tag heading into the final series? With the ball this time, it's McMahon. He charges and he runs into the 21 over the top, and that is Dave Harvey. It's onto the left-hand side of the field again. With the ball, it's Zebrazini. He takes the line on, offloads, and they score the try. Well, how good was that? Try coming up. They spin the ball in the air, and is that the...
Luke Jones, I think it was, the number 6. And I tell you what, this rising side has lifted a gear after that break in play. That was absolutely blistering stuff. It was a blitzkrieg, Luke.
Most definitely, Garrett, but I don't think it's any coincidence when they're 10, Jack Debrasini rises, the whole team rises. And look, there's some great skills there, getting the ball around the corner. It's I suppose, a little great skill that he's brought to his game, and look, no coincidence, when he takes the ball to the line, he's going to create opportunity for his side.
Yes, definitely, and I tell you what, Swanepoel just came off the field too. Who replaced him there, Luke?
They've actually made quite an interesting move. They've played Dave Harvey, who wasn't a part of the original Rams squad. He's been a late inclusion coming to the side. His regular position is either first 5 or fly half, as you know it, or even fullback. And he's actually moved into number 9. So
yes, and a couple more changes coming on in 23 and at 20. So Dave Chisholm's on the field, and Kovacic has come on as well, the Polish marauder.
The Polish marauder, live and kicking here in blistering heat. Here's the kick. Well, it's a 10-point margin.
Yeah, you just feel that the Melbourne Rising, as we mentioned, have lifted a gear here. They really want to go through this season undefeated. They look pretty sharp as they come towards 10 metres from halfway.
And maybe that bye they did have last week is certainly now coming into effect here. Fresh legs, and you need to have fresh legs with this unbelievable heat that we're experiencing here in the western suburbs of Sydney here this afternoon. Up around 31 degrees, the player temperature.
Yes, and that fire and that smoke really drifting across the ground now. You probably can't see it at home on your TV, but of course we wish everyone who may be caught up in that fire all the best and safety as well. Safety first. Don't stay in front of your TV and watch Bar TV. Get out of the house and get down low and go, go, go as the ball comes forward.
Speaking of go, 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 this is what the Rising are doing. They're go, go, going down to the 22. Out it comes. The 10 is with it. Zebrazini. Oh, good hands there by Jeffries.
Yeah, great hands there. And
Inham. Still going Inham. Looking up. No support came. Inching their way further inside the 22. Meehan scored a try, his first try, about 15 minutes ago. You'll remember that one. Bit of a hurdle and a jump and a skip, and he scored that one. Here's the Rams coming through on the Rising. They might get boot to the ball. That's exactly what they do. McKenzie picks it up. He spins, he weaves, he offloads. And Gillespie, he offloads the ball down the sideline as Chisel chips. He'll score, Willie. He throws it back on the inside. And Badger, he comes around and scores underneath the post. Oh, Chisel chips and Badger. Unbelievable.
Yes, and Badger set that play up with some great desperation there, chasing the kick through from the break in, the breakdown, the scrappy ball. He looked around for support, and I tell you what, the Rams are back in this with about 8 minutes to go, Luke.
Well, what a turn of events. You thought Melbourne were going to go in surely down their end of the field. And look, a great bit of work, a bit of a fumble there by Debrasini, and Chisholm blistering space down the sideline, turn it back in for Badger, so which will most likely lock it up here at Pertex Stadium.
Here's the kick. He's got it from right in front of the post. So, the Rising, 45. Unbelievable. This game is not over. Let's have a look at the replay.
And Badger just kicks it through. Great scrapping for the ball. And Big Jed passes it on there to Chisholm, who passes it back on the inside, nonchalantly, back to Batcher, the man that started it, to bring it round to the post and make it easy for his kicker in Vola Vola. And the Rams are right back in this at Pertex Stadium as we go back to the restarts.
As we go back inside the last 66 minutes and 40 seconds, this is not what you want. Ball on the ground. Gillespie fires it away. Here's the kick. Vola puts boot to the ball. Bounces on the halfway line. And now it goes just short of the 10. Big spiraling ball. It's gone about 30 metres, as you can see. Yellow ball drops onto the white boots. Goes down to the 22. They take it well, and he's been cleaned up there. Vola by the 15 in Jonah Placid. Well, don't go anywhere. This is Bar TV. Here is a penalty.
Yes, he's got a call from his touch judge there. Hands in the ruck by the Rams side. They really had to do it, though. They were under immense pressure there, and you're right on the spot there, Buddha.
20 metres out from the Rams line too, Buddha.
They're doing some sensational work. A big mention for the back row of the Rising in Jones, McMahon and Lapeti Tamani. They've been absolutely outstanding. Real honest football games they've had today. And for the Rams, it looks like Ravai's finally succumbed to that knee injury. And they've got number 16, Amali Naguamo from the Southern Districts football side coming on for the Rams.
Sexton.
Yes, you won't often hear that a breakaway has an honest game either, will you, as the Rising comes forward. They're always looking to cheat the rules, those flankers. As the Rams look like they're good counter-rucking here by the Rams. They've come up with the ball.
Absolutely brilliant. They're going to spin it across the goal line. They've got numbers. They straighten up. They beat one down inside their own 22. But tell you what, unbelievable passage there as well. Talk about confidence on your own goal line.
They turned the
now
ball
they've
over.
lost it, and this could be the game if they score in the corner. There it is. The Rising. Have they scored? Yes, they have.
Yes,
well, there you go, from one to the other.
Placid turns the counter-rucking into a try, and that was counter-ruck after counter-ruck, and the Rising have gone in to score with about 5 minutes to go. 10 points in it now. The Rams are 40, Melbourne 50 here at Pertex Stadium.
And 90 points thus far in the match.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's been absolute end-to-end stuff there. The Rams had it. I'd tell you what, I would have backed Mackenzie to try and run around his opposite there, not take the ball back in field. I mean, he's got pace to burn. He just didn't back himself. I know it's from his own 20, but Luke, he's probably the quickest man in the NRC.
Oh, I definitely think so. Mackenzie's been one to watch throughout this whole tournament. He's had a bit of a quiet game by his standards, but, gents, I don't know what to think with this game. You see, the Rams were looking like they had a great opportunity out wide, and it was well turned by the Rising. And once again, they've put points in the corner, and it looks like it could be the game.
Yes, definitely, as we come back now for the restart through Vola as we go to the Bar TV replay, and it just Hansel do a nice catch and pass there to Placid, and he goes into the corner.
And of course, Placid returned today from a knee injury, along with a few others that have been out for a few weeks. Sean McMahon and Toby Smith, a welcome return to them, to the Rising as well.
Little knock on.
As a knock on. So the Rising, get behind your side down there. And the Greater Sydney Rams, hasn't the Western Sydney supporters turned out today to support their side as well? And this competition will only get bigger and better. No question about that. It's inaugural year.
Yes, only building this BuildCorp NRC as one of the Rising players comes from the field. The big number 3 in Alo Emil. He's had an absolute wow of a game as well, and that's a penalty there to the Rising. Just going too fast, too desperate here, the Rams. Wanting to get the ball back and try and catch and bridge the gap in this 10-point ball game.
And the man with the ball now, very exciting, as we said, young player, just couldn't find the line on that occasion. So the Rams come away with it. They're going to spin it around only like they know how to with the ball on this occasion. So Latuni Polo, oh, he's lost it, did he? Yeah.
Yes, that's a good strip there. Just not valuing that ball, the Rams.
2 minutes on the clock. They spin it to the left. Oh,
that's been the best
Kamana.
contact of the game.
Heavy stuff. Alcock comes off second best. This is Miller.
Yeah, Miller, he's been solid all game as well. Going the full 80 as well, the big front rower. Now.
Yeah, Badger. Short. Over the halfway line they come. Comes out the back, keeping it alive. Badger's got it again. Crossing the 10 on this occasion. And that's where they're stopped in their tracks. Not long on the scoreboard to go. 1.5 minutes on the official scoreboard. Miller, out the back it comes. Referee, play on. They bang it off the boot there of the 21 in Ben Meehan. And it will roll and roll and roll.
That's a good kick there by Meehan. I tell you what, since he's come on this field, he's been absolutely amazing. I think that's McKenzie down in back play there. So it won't probably affect this line out coming to fruition now.
He's not looking good there, McKenzie. He's down on the floor. Hasn't had much movement. The ref has stopped play.
And he's just cantering back to McKenzie. Of course, understand from the Penrith Emus, McKenzie.
Yes, he's an ex-rugby league player as well. And I tell you what, he's on the radar of a few of these Super Rugby teams. He's the second leading try scorer in this competition, so that'll be a shame if his season ends like this because, of course, the Rams side probably had to win today to make that 4, so a little bit disappointing. But I tell you what, they've been very, very exciting to watch in this Buildcorp NRC competition.
Well, they're calling for the stretcher too, Gareth, now.
Yes, that's definitely a bad sign. Luke, can you see what's happening down there, mate?
Yeah, it's a bit hard to tell here, Gareth, at the moment what the call is, or what the injury is, rather.
Yeah, they look concerned, don't they? It looks like it could be a leg injury, maybe the knee or ankle. From this bird's eye view that I have right at the top of the grandstand.
And he has been in impressive form. McKenzie, of course, he scored 2 tries last week in their annihilation over Brisbane City. Here comes the Medicab, the ambulance in all its flashing glory. Got them.
I tell you what, where do you get a license for one of those? Because he's done a 4-point turn to get to McKenzie there, the Medicab driver.
Yeah, gentlemen, looks like he's clutching at his knee here, so we hope it's nothing too serious for McKenzie, because any sort of serious knee injury does mean a long time on the sideline. So we wish him all the best, and hopefully he is all clear.
Yeah, definitely one of the shining lights in this Rams side. An absolute excitement machine is McKenzie, so bad luck for him if he does end the season this way. So let's hope it's not too serious. As both sides having a bit of a chat in the middle of the field now. Probably about a minute to go, 2 minutes with injury time. The Rams out of this contest now, but they're probably going to want to make amends and try and put ball through hands and score a try from their own 22-metre line.
Jerome McKenzie just being put onto the stretcher. They'll lock him in, and hasn't got too far to go to the local hospital, just around the corner actually in Westmead, just up the highway.
They could probably drive that Medicab there. Don't worry about the ambulance, just get the golf cart up the highway to Westmead.
Well, they could do a shortcut just straight through Parramatta Park.
Straight through the bushes. I tell you what, some of the homeless people sleeping there would probably wonder what they're seeing, Pete.
As the Medicab is coming off now, he'll go up the tunnel. Maybe
Yes.
a quick check in the dressing sheds, and then the ambulance then will proceed to the local hospital if they do in fact have to go to that extremity. So we've only got roughly 53 seconds remaining.
As the ball comes in from the line out.
Well, it's been 16 days since the Melbourne Rising
played in their last match. A little bit scrappy in the first half. No doubt the Rams put it to them as we see, straight through. Jonah Placid puts the extra icing on the cake.
I tell you what, Placid has not been quiet at all today. Far from Placid.
Far from Placid. Absolutely one to watch, isn't he? From a bit of Rebels experience as well. And
so
overcome
explosive.
that injury. He's got a bit of strapping around it, as you can see there on the right knee. But gee whiz, he's overcome what was a bit of a serious injury. And they've got all their guns blazing at the right time of the season, haven't they, the Melbourne Rising? They've secured that semi-final. And are they the ones to beat in 2014? Here's the kick. It's a ripper.
I tell you what, they have sent an absolute message to the rest of this comp. The Rams were coming at them all game, looked dangerous, but that final 20 minutes, they looked absolutely unstoppable, this Rising side.
So in the end, Melbourne Rising have been able to go through and beat Rams by 58 points to 40. As we see it on the replay just coming up, look at this, in and away, try line in front of him, no support, nobody was there going to tackle him, and he's just finished off a pretty good second 40 for the Melbourne Rising. Well, that pretty much wraps up our coverage, and Melbourne Rising, guys, I'll put it to you, no doubt the ones to beat in this competition this year. Maybe that's an easy question to answer. If any team's going to rival them, where do you think that could come from?
Well, I think, Anna, looking through the competition, I'm a big fan of the New South Wales Country Eagles. I think if they make the finals, they could really trouble the Melbourne Rising because they have put a lot of dominant performances together, the Melbourne Rising. But I think for mine, the New South Wales Country Eagles could be the ones to take it off them.
Yeah, I'm going to go against everything you've just said, Pete Jolly, and the Rising all the way. The rising to the top like cream in your coffee. Too good, too strong, too fast, too hungry.
Firm favourite. Do you want to get much money if you wanted to put a few dollars on them, though? What are they? $1 one?
$1.02.
$1.02 at 2 cents. It adds up over a while. Well, the capital of sport, Melbourne. Haven't they witnessed some breathtaking teams over there?
I tell you what, Pete, I'll cut you off there. The capital of the sport is Pertex Stadium in Parramatta, and I love being out here.
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere, definitely out here. Doesn't matter what support, Union League, soccer, doesn't come much better out here in the western suburbs. Well, that about wraps us up. Let's go down to the sideline for the last time. Luke the Buddha, Den Allen, absolute thrill to have you on board. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've had a privilege of having you on our commentaries team, and hopefully we'll do it again next year.
Most definitely. Thank you very much, Pete and Gareth. I'm about to jump into a freezing pool because I'm absolutely saturated from this heat.
Take the Ram with you, mate.
I think there's only room for one. But you never know. The Ram might get his horns in.
I don't know. They've both lost plenty of weight on the sideline. They're sweating it out as the Rising side taking a team photo. Happy with their win here at Parramatta at Pertex Stadium. Unlucky for the Rams. It's been a pleasure calling their games.
What a ride it's been, Gareth. You've had an absolute sensational season with the Newcastle Rugby League, and to end it with the NRC.
Rugby Union.
Rugby Union. It doesn't get much better than that, does it?
I know, it's an absolute pleasure. Follow at Bar TV Sports, hashtag Bar TV. Get on board the Build Corp NRC for the rest of the season. We hope to be joining you soon for Bar TV. Pete Jolly, I'll leave you with the final words, mate.
Well, the pictures tell the words, don't they? The undefeated Melbourne Rising heading back to Melbourne, and looks like they will go through this season undefeated. Well, if you love your 2020 cricket, make sure you join us again tomorrow from Hurstville Oval. The Newcastle Steel team is going around against St George and Gordon. 2020 cricket live tomorrow from Hurstville Oval. So on behalf of the entire Bar TV team, they work tirelessly to bring you all the action. Doesn't matter what competition they're covering. The behind-the-scenes team work very, very hard indeed in production. And of course, speaking of the producers, the cameramen, the soundos. Without them, we wouldn't be able to bring you the match footage. So we'll be back on deck next year. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage this year. Until then, bye for now.